Welcome to a cold, dreary day in Northeast Ohio, where today we're here to rescue this 1966 Pontiac Grand Prix that's been sitting for over 10 years. Let's dig in.
It's gonna go anywhere, but I'll stick one behind there just in case.
Yeah, just for good measure. That's great that the brakes are freed up on it. It's a good first step anyways. Some floor pan rot here. Needs some attention. Nothing too bad. This side looks in pretty good shape. Let's see what the interior looks like.
Just save the package tray in case you wanted to make a pattern
Okay,
down the road.
that'll work. Thank you. The seats might just clean right up. It's in good shape. There's no rips or tears or anything like that. The original tack. Got some other gauges over here. Somebody's put a newer, well, vintage now, but newer to the car, cassette player in it. Let's see here, what's the miles say on it? 15,678. So we'll probably assume 115. Doubt she's a 15,000 mile car. That'd be great, but doubtful. Yeah, other than the dash, oops, the interior is in pretty nice shape. AC model. Mouse house. Some goodies in there. Look at that. Some fuses, couple filters, some smoked cigarettes. Not bad. Four pins there. Pretty good shape. Well, how do you fold the seat up? There we go, you just pull, okay. There might be 4 pans left. See if we can crawl underneath and get a better look. It doesn't look too bad. Might be a little scale up there in front of that cross member, or behind it rather. I don't know. Maybe one of those we'll have to get it up in the air and get a better look.
At some point to give you the original intake and the AC stuff.
Okay, all right. Get the hood open here. Jimmy, you said the original 389 was replaced with this 400 that came out of a Trans Am or something?
Supposedly it came out of a 73 formula.
73 formula, okay. All right. An HEI unit I see on there, it sure is. Well, that's gonna help matters out quite a bit. I brought sandpaper to sand points and stuff, but maybe we won't need it, so.
This is an interesting intake.
What can you tell me about it, Jimmy?
It's a Holly,
Okay.
and it's in 2 pieces. I've never seen another one like it, and I'm not really sure why it was made like that, unless it was just easier in case you had to
Interesting.
replace the water pump.
Yeah, I do see the split in it right there. Huh. I can't say I've ever seen anything like that either.
Carter carb.
Carter, okay. It's a Holly intake Carter carb. Got one of these Widowmaker fuel filters on there. Those aren't.
Gotta keep it where it's hot.
Yeah, those not too popular anymore, so we'll have to pay close mind once it comes to
I think it did have
messing
a
with
fuel
that.
leak. I think that's what initially got it parked.
Okay.
That and the brakes.
Okay. All right, so yeah, it's a given we got no brakes. That's just from sitting.
Not
That's
much,
how.
yeah.
Right. Looks like somebody has replaced the master on it at some point.
I did replace that.
Okay. All right.
Bench bled it.
Okay. All right. So maybe we at least got a fighting chance there. Let's say we need to get the air cleaner off next. Oof. Boy, those cables been on there a few days, huh?
Wow, yeah.
That's okay. I brought a brush for that. That's fine.
This one here,
Mm-hmm.
it's in between the post and the clamp.
Okay.
If that's not there, then it doesn't fire at all.
Okay. So that running the coil or something then, or? Okay. All right. Got these really nice performance radiator hoses on it. That's pretty impressive. All right, well, let's get the carburetor off here, or the air cleaner rather, and go from there and see if the carb's freed up, see if there's any fluids in this thing or not, and we'll see if the motor's free. A Carter competition series. That means performance. 4-barrel. Let's see if it's freed up or not. It is. Perfect. Okay, that's a good sign.
Mouse nest.
No mouse nest, that's important too. Looks pretty clean down there. I think it would be safe to throw some fuel down there without having any issues there. We don't want to put anything right in the engine. So, okay. I'll check the oil on it here, see if there's any of that in there. It actually looks pretty good. A little low, but there's still some brown to it. Still got some viscosity, that's good. We'll get in there. Okay, well, just making a mess. How about coolant? Feeling pretty dry. That's okay. Hopefully that's not a sign of something there. Alright, so I think the next step here is to see if the engine's locked up or not. I hope not. See if we can get a good grip on this damper down here. Give it a turn. See what we got going on. Oh, it's free. Good to go there. Rotate a little bit. There we go. Well, with that being done, I think we can probably put a socket right on that crank bolt and see if we can get it rotated around. Alright, I ravaged around the junk drawer and was able to find a socket and a ratchet to fit that crank bolt. So, let's get on that. See if it's free. I need an extension. Alright, so we got some rotation on the engine. I think what I'm going to try to do next is the driver's door does not open. So I'm going to at least see if I can crawl through here, through mouse land, and get the window down at least. That way, maybe we can find some keys for it and put a battery to this thing. Well, yeah, curveball on that, dummy. It is power windows. So I guess our first step is to hook a battery to it and see if we still have window motors or not. Okay. First we got to get that one out of here. We'll do that. Alright, so I'm having some issue with this positive cable here. Let's see if I can squirt some miracle juice on it and get it cleaned up a little bit. Maybe get this thing out of here then. There's a date code on this battery. The 3 is marked out. Maybe 2013, maybe? 10 years. Looks like someone's got a wire ran or two to the coil or something. I'll have to figure that out as we go. Let me get this cable off first. Oh, look at this little piece that comes with the car here. A little showroom flyer from 1966. That is a neat little item I didn't know was going to come with it. That's great. You say you had the original owner's manual for this too with the protector plate. Wow, okay. Definitely not something you see every day.
When I bought it, I had talked to the lady who bought it originally.
Mm-hmm.
She lived in Lincolnton, North Carolina at the time. We're talking 20-some years ago now.
Okay.
And she bought it new. And this was back in the day with landlines and what have you. So I just went through information. I talked to her, and she told me, I told her who I was and that I had a had the Pontiac, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, you got Christina?"
Is that the car's name then, Christina? I was wondering what we were going to call it. I think that's a good name for it, actually. Well, that's really neat. You got in contact with the original owner of the car, and
She
came
bought
from.
it when she was 19 or 20,
Okay.
and she said, "My daddy asked me, what are you gonna do with that car?" She said, "I told him I'm just gonna drive it all over."
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, that's neat, man. Well, as you can see, I've almost got this terminal off here. The bolt just snapped in half, but a win's a win, so we'll take it. Shouldn't be too much longer here. I have this battery out. Got the battery out. As we can see here, the battery was put in 10 years ago, so let's just say it's sitting on the shelf for a year, maybe 2. So that would date the car sitting 7, 8 years. So that's pretty neat. So here's the original owner's manual and protector plate for the car. That, boy, Jimmy, it looks like it is in great shape still. We don't need to show that stuff. Awesome. It's really neat when you find stuff like that on a 1966 car, especially that's still with the car. So that's awesome that you held on to that. All right, so as you can see, I got the battery professionally installed in here. Got the cables cleaned up and got them as tight as I'm gonna get them for now. No guarantee that's gonna work, probably not, but it is worth a shot. Nothing's smoking, and I don't smell anything, so that's a good sign. Ooh. Or that firewall. Whatever. Let's see if we got any power inside this thing. All right. No lights or anything. I think I might go see the owner, see if he's got ignition keys for this or not. So we're nearing the time of needing those. So, all right, acquired some keys. Let's get in here and see what happens. Oof. Well, either the lock cylinder's froze or that's not the right one. So we got 2 here. 1 down, 1 to go. Oh, that's a winner. And we got lights. Okay, something's clicking under the hood. Awesome. Let's see if we can get the window down. Something's moving. Nope. Got 1 window. Goes down. Not going back up. Nothing. 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 Okay. All right. Well, 1 window. So basically, if we do get this thing running, I might just die of mold inhalation before we get it home. So that's good to know. But anyways, we have some lights on in the dash. The key's obviously doing something. That was sweet. What's in here? We'll have to dig through there later. Pretty neat. Let's just go ahead and bump the key. See if we can hear something happen. Nothing. Okay. Well, maybe it's got a neutral safety switch. Doubt it. But put it up in park. Oh, she cranked over. Okay. Let's see what's going on out there. Sounded pretty good. It almost sounded like it tried to fire there for a second. Well, that's good news. That means we must have spark, which was a given anyways with that HEI. Might be a little dash of fuel in there still. So that's great. We got the motor freed up. Or we know it's free, rather. Pretty sure we got spark. That'll be the stuff right there. All right. That might be the next step here. Let's throw some ether down the yap and see if it's gonna bark off or not. Let's see. We got some assistance here real quick. What we're gonna do is throw some laughing gas down the carburetor and see if we can get this thing to bark off. All right, fire in the hole. Oh, success. Perfect. All right, she's a runner. That's good to know. Awesome. Okay.
That's pretty sweet.
So I guess we're going to jump to fuel supply. We need to get, well, it's trying. You can tell by the Widowmaker here. It's got some gas in it already. I'm sure that stuff's in sweet shape. But maybe we can pull it off, at least do a smell check and see how bad it actually is. If it's too bad, we don't want to pump it right into that carburetor. It's going to put us back to carburetor issues. So we get a screwdriver and get this line off here and see what we're working with. So I think the next step here is I'm going to get somebody to fire that engine off again. I have the fuel rerouted into this water bottle here. If we can get this thing to run for 5 or 10 seconds or so, that's going to tell us a couple things here. One, it's going to tell us if the fuel pump is working or not. And after that, if it does pump some fuel into this jug, we can check on that and see what kind of fuel we're working with after 8 or so years of sitting. It might be good enough to run, but that's to be determined. So I think we're going to do that next, and we'll see what happens.
Are you ready now?
Yes, sir. One more time, please. Okay. All right, let's go with that. Fuel pump is working. Let's check on this and see what's in the tank. Well, she's got a color to it, but it doesn't smell that bad. I think we might try to run it off of that. Perhaps with a new fuel filter though. That way we can kind of keep an eye on what is coming up through. As we can see, there is some junk in there. We do not want to pump that into the car. May or may not run it off the tank. I don't know. Might not be to our advantage. Let me see what I can get figured out here. So I think it's about time we check out the fuel situation on this here. I got the cap off. I don't know if there's any in it or not. It's feeling pretty empty. The other thing I just noticed is we've got one strap, and then our other strap here consists of a bungee cord. So looks like there was a covering on this tank though, and some of it anyways. Dare we say most of it might still be in pretty good shape. So it's kind of hard to tell what the inside of it looks like, but from down here it doesn't look too bad. We do end up using this, so we're going to definitely watch how much fuel we put in it, just because of that. So I don't know, let's see here. I might still go with the hooking a fuel filter up to it, and we have about a 5-mile venture home today, so not too bad. So even if we can get this thing to pump a little fuel through it, I think we're going to be okay. So I'd say let's go with that. Maybe get a new fuel filter on that thing, and we will go from there. All right, so I just got back from the parts store and the gas station, and I decided to put some gas in the tank, just a gallon or two for now, just to see what happens here. I also replaced that crappy glass fuel filter on there, and this line seems pretty good, but this original one was looking a little crusty, so I went ahead and bought some new fuel line and hooked that into the carburetor here. So also got my jump start trigger here hooked up to the starter and the battery, so we can run it from out here. I think I'm gonna prime it again and hit the key and see if we can get this thing to at least get some fuel and see if it wants to maybe sit here and idle. I think I hear the blower motor going.
Yeah, the heater must be on.
Heater's on. Well, before our battery dies, maybe I'll find the switch for that. We don't need that right now. It's a cold day, but I don't think we need heat from the car. Let's see, where would that be located at? Thought this was a radio, but that's actually the heater controls here. All right, off button works. Perfect. All right, you can see the clock lit up on the dash here. Looks like we've been at this for approximately an hour and 34 minutes. So that's good to know. I have the key turned to the on position. Like I said, I got the starter trigger wired up. Get the primer bottle here. I'll get set up here and see if this is going to work or not. Starting to get some fuel through it already. That's a good sign. Fuel pump is working really good. Shouldn't take long to get gas to it. in here for some oil pressure. Nada. But should have some sort of oil light if that was an issue. I don't see any warning lights except the inevitable brake light shining at me. Guys, she's sitting here running and idling. I'm an idiot. Here's an aftermarket gauge setup. Boy, 55 pounds of pressure. That's perfect. Not sure if that's working or not. We'll have to hook a multimeter up here to it in a few. Awesome. Tell the new fuels got up to the carburetor already. There must not have been hardly anything at all in that tank, which is a good thing. And that fuel looks good. I think we can run on that no problem at all, which means we don't have to rig up a gas tank in this thing. That is great. This thing's sitting here and idling. She's running a little rough. Those plugs look original. Probably not, but definitely not new. First start in 8 years, and it's sitting here idling. Little bit of valve train noise over here. Maybe that'll come back around. Unfortunately, we got to shut this thing off here soon and get some coolant in it. Hopefully it'll start right back up. All right, guys, we got a good runner here. I think the next step is let's get some water in this thing. Taking a second look, I can see it's about halfway up the side bottle here, which is a good thing. That means it's holding it. Let's get it topped off with some water for now in the radiator, not down the side. That'd be great. Okay. Tell it's got a green tinge to it, so there is some coolant in there already. That's a great sign because I didn't bring any with me. So do that. I'll leave that cap off for now. I want to see if that water pump is actually doing pump things or not. So I think we'll get this started back up here. Let me run in and turn the key back on. Let's see if we can start bringing this thing back around. I'm gonna double check the oil one more time. I did already. But yeah, we're good. Looks good. Be good enough to run for now. Perfect. Fire and hold. bit and see if we can get that idle to come down. I got the idle turned down a little bit, just doing a gauge check. Looks like once we're warmed up, gonna run about 30 pounds of pressure, oil pressure. I don't know if that temp gauge is working or not, but it has not come up yet. And our amp gauge isn't saying much either. So I think before we kill our battery potentially, I'm gonna get my molding meter out and see if we're charging or not. Alright guys, I got my voltmeter out here. Negative. Got you to the positive here. Oh yeah. He's charging. Okay. Perfect. Got it idled down. It's still running a little rough. Guys, I've got 5 miles to go. I'm not really looking to do a full-on tune-up, let's get it running mint. Yeah, I'm looking to get it home. So, we can do that. That's what we're gonna do. Still got some noise up here. I don't know if it's a manifold that's cracked, or we got some top-end noise. Nonetheless, I think that's something we can probably figure out once we get it home. And it's running good enough to temp that. So I think the next thing to do is check the transmission out, see if it's actually going to move, and then of course the brakes. Alright guys, this is going pretty good. We got it running, got it idling, seeming to build oil pressure, coolant, whatnot. It is time to find out if the transmission is going to work or not. Without that, we're literally not going anywhere. So, get you set up on a tripod here. I'm going to jump in and hit the key, and we'll see what happens. Maybe. Not looking forward to it, but maybe we'll give the brakes a shot while we're in there. Well, guys, not only do we have a trans, the brakes even work, at least a little bit. Maybe good enough to get home. I don't know. Like I said, we got 5 miles to go, so nothing horrible. Maybe we need to do a little pre-trip inspection on a few things here. You know, make sure the wheels are bolted onto the car at least properly. So we really haven't done a walk around on this thing yet, have we? Do that now. Looks like somebody put a real thick lacquer coating of paint on this thing. You can actually tell, you know, by the way that it is, that it's pretty thick. And I think over the years this one just started cracking. And this side, I mean, other than the paint, is looking okay. The roof suffers from the same. It almost looks like a vinyl roof, but it's not. That's the paint. That's just, it's old. I don't know if it's original. I don't know if we've determined that or not yet. It sure looks pretty close to the original color. If not, of course, this trunk area here is more of like a bright blue. To do some homework on that. This side over here, from the story I told, guy bought it from son, wasn't quite watching one day driving his Ford Ranger pickup truck and just took a nice little cruise up on the quarter panel of this thing, and the whole way. Now the car did come with a new quarter panel that's in pretty nice shape. Am I going to do that work? Doubtful. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to get in that deep with this one or not. Oh, look at that. I guess we'll save somebody's tire here and get rid of that. Moving forward from the quarter panel, the door looks like it's in all right shape. The rest of the body looks pretty solid on the car. The hood, I can't tell if that's black or it might just be a black hood on that car, which, okay, I can get down with that. The chrome might come back, we'll have to see. I think it needs a good date with a pressure washer first. Well, if it survives the trip home. And then we go from there. The weather, she's a-turning today. It's looking a little sketchy all of a sudden. Radar calls for rain here in a couple hours. I don't know if it's gonna hold on or not. It might just get started early. Where I'm at, you really see a lot of the nice fall foliage setting in the trees and stuff. It really is a nice time of year, other than it being, you know, 50 degrees at best. Let's get back on the car here, button a few things up, let it run a little more. I'm gonna put some more gas in it. I'll only put a gallon or two in it. Maybe start checking some accessories, lights, turn signals, brake lights, all the stuff that might raise a red flag if we head down the road in this thing. So we'll get to that, and I don't know. This tire has been holding air for 2 hours now. Whatever we saw on the clock there, it's a little longer than that. So I don't know if that's gonna make it home or not. I guess we're gonna find out though. At least it'll hold air. I don't plan on going much over 30 mile an hour in this thing. It's gonna be a nice back road drive if we get that far. So let's continue on it and see how far we can get. Welcome back, day 2 on the Grand Prix thing. Yeah, we're gonna drive it home today, hopefully. About to do a cold start. Hopefully it'll start right up, everything will work according to plan. We've got 5 miles to go today, and by the looks of the tires on that, they might last that long, we'll see. But let's dig in here, do a cold start, and get going. You still on? Gauges seem to be working. That's okay. Car is all over the road as expected. Didn't get a chance to check out the front end. 5 miles. Up in smoke. Oops. Well, we made it home in one piece, miraculously. I don't know what we're gonna do with this thing yet. I do know one thing. It does a really nice one-wheel peel burnout. So, I guess next video you're gonna see on this car, we're gonna get it cleaned up. See if there's anything we can do with this paint. Maybe do some dent repair. I don't know. Tune up, definitely. Give her some love. She is alive and well, though. Runs really good. As far as the future for the car, I don't know. The old owner, his son, showed up as I was working on it yesterday, and he just kind of had that look in his eye, and you could tell something was bugging him. And it wasn't 5 minutes later, he pulled me aside and said, "Look, if you go to sell that thing, I don't know what your plans are for it, but I wouldn't mind having first dibs." Oh, I said, okay, I know how that stuff is, so might be going back to him. It's hard to tell. We got this winter to work on it. Let's see what we can do. Maybe make it look a little better and go from there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, maybe subscribing to the channel, follow the progress on the Pontiac and all the other madness we got going on here this winter. We will catch you on the next one.